Hi guys, this is Miss Thompson here. Today what we are going to be doing is we are going to be investigating all of the evidence that was left at the scene of the Anna Garcia crime scene. So yesterday what you guys did is you guys looked at some witnesses and you guys tried to evaluate the credibility of these different witnesses. Hopefully you were able to determine who would be some good witnesses and who are not so good witnesses. Today what you're going to do is, or what PLTW is expecting you to do is, if we were actually in a physical classroom, is you would observe the evidence that was left at the scene. So at the scene of the crime, we know that some of the evidence was hair, fingerprints, and there was also digital evidence. So in a traditional setting, what you guys would be doing is you guys would be moving into different stations. So you would have 3 different stations set up. At the first stations, you would be looking at different types of hair under a microscope. In section 2, you would be looking at fingerprinting, so you would actually be fingerprinting one another. And in section 3, you would actually be looking at digital evidence. Digital evidence is things like your cell phone log, your social media, your emails, things like that. That is what you would be looking at if we were actually in a classroom. But because we are not actually in a classroom setting, we have to kind of modify and kind of find something that's similar to kind of go and do this with. So what we're going to do today is you guys are actually going to look at another murder case, which is an actual murder case that actually happened in real life. So you guys are going to witness and you guys are going to watch a video that documents the murder of a young man. He was murdered. And what you guys are going to do is you're going to tell me all of the different types of evidence that the detective found at the scene and that the detective used to solve the murder and to figure out who the murderer was. And in a paragraph format, what you're going to do is you are going to tell me how evidence, any type of evidence, trace evidence, digital evidence, any kind of evidence helps investigators solve crimes. Now, when you're answering that question, obviously your response should be more than one sentence. You should at least give me a good 5 to 8 sentence paragraph telling me these things. So because we're not in the classroom, we're not in a regular brick and mortar setting, what we're going to do is we are going to do this counter activity, in which you are actually acting as an observer of an active investigation. So you're going to watch the case fully. I think the video is like 35 minutes long. So you're going to fully watch the murder investigation. This murder investigation is actually very interesting, so you're not going to be bored with it. You're actually going to watch the investigation from beginning to end. As you go through it, what you're going to do is you're going to make a list of all of the evidence that the detective found at the scene, all of the evidence that the detective used. And then at the end, to wrap it all up, you're going to tell me how evidence is used to help solve crimes. Not just murders, but all crimes. How is evidence used to help solve crimes in a nice 5 to 8 sentence paragraph. So today's lesson is not very complicated, but it is very vital, and it's going to be helpful in figuring out what happened to Anna Garcia. So thank you.